is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the North End Podcast, episode 48. That is our Maxi plus Lord Redis episode. We may see some of the Lord this coming Saturday. I'm your host on the North End Podcast, Zach Graham, joined, as always, by my good buddy, on record as my best friend. It's E and Me Show, a.k.a. E, a.k.a. LaE James. Game 2 going on right now. That's a big sacrifice by you, a.k.a. Sebastian Drew Easy, a.k.a. Eastradamus, a.k.a. Pap E. O'Daniel, a.k.a. The Fashionista, a.k.a. Chili Willie, a.k.a. E. Jan Stockel. E, midweek here. A little bit of anticipation, I think, at least for me, building up towards this Saturday night showdown against the LA Galaxy. Two teams down in the dumps right now. But you have any reason to be down in the dumps? How are you feeling?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Okay. So that's the mood we're bringing today. No,
I wasn't gonna say that. Wasn't planned. You started saying it was a big sacrifice by me. I was like, yeah, throw it in there. I'm good. Definitely always in a good mood when it's the NBA playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Also quite excited for this game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Get back on track, as we've said every pod for every episode this year.
Yep. And so, we're gonna keep pushing our toxic positivity here on the podcast. Although I think we have the ability to somewhat recalibrate our expectations, and we talked about that before the season, right? Where certainly our expectations, and mine still are, where like my bar is for a successful season. Said it before the year, like I thought top 4 is where we should be.
Mm-hmm.
I thought top 7 was acceptable, and anything less than that, I'm worried. Obviously, Austin FC currently sitting in 10th place in the Western Conference, game in hand on some of those teams above us. So I believe if you sort by points per game, I believe we're 9th. So it's not like a huge difference, but a difference nonetheless. That's a play-in game, or a wild card, I think is what MLS is calling it, but not where we want to be. So going up against a team in the Los Angeles Galaxy, who we have never beat before in our prior 4 tries. Maybe not the best team to see on the schedule, but they are licking some wounds as well. So let's jump into the preview of this match on Saturday. This is 9:30 Central. So a late one for us here in the Central time zone, but I know we will be juiced up all the same. Gives us a decent opportunity to check out the other MLS games from the previous 3 hours. That 6:30 and 7:30 window will be able to, I believe they introduced quad box technology for the users last week. That was the rumor. So obviously we didn't catch any Apple TV live last week while we were at Q2. But I'm looking forward to that, and obviously looking even more forward to this match. Like I mentioned, 0-4 against the Galaxy so far in our franchise history. May 15th, 21 was our first meeting, a 2-0 loss away out there in Carson. September 26th of that season, though. Actually, I'm sitting here spouting incorrect information. So if you are listening, and I can't believe I forgot about this, if you're listening and you've been yelling at me for the last 3 minutes and 55 seconds saying, what the hell are you talking about? We have a victory over the Galaxy. It's because we do. All right. And it was a storybook game. So I don't know, like,
things are looking up.
Maybe that is just the visible rut that we're in as fans right now, is that even though I have this in my notes staring me in the face, just looking at it like 4 losses, we are 1-3 against the Galaxy. We had a 2-0 home win September 26, 21. First Austin FC goal by both Musa Jite and our boy, Mackenzie Gaines. You remember that game now, right? I mean, that was a classic.
Yeah. How's he doing, by the way?
Okay. I think, spot starter there for Charlotte. Certainly when they're healthy, he's not in their top 11. But playing a role. I know he started at least one match for them when Soderski was overseas on international duty. But so, yeah, they're the lone bright spot, I guess, in the matchups between these two for our side, for the good guys. I can't believe I forgot that, man. I will not restart the podcast. We will leave that in, and we will push forward. The two matchups last year, not great, obviously. Did get those right. May 8th, 22 at home. I want to say this was our boy AG's first game in person. It was a 1-0 loss at home. We had Tarbell in goal. Stuver still was recovering from that knee injury he suffered at Houston. So we had an early Galaxy goal, I think like 5th or 6th minute in that one, if I recall correctly. It was an Ethan Finley turnover trying to clear the ball out. Did not do so competently. And Galaxy pounced on it, snuck a goal past Tarbell at the near post right in the north end in front of us. And then the rest of the game, they kind of just played keep away. And I also think that was the 10 minutes of silence game for Cecilio. So just weird vibes around that whole game. And it did not get... What's that?
More weird vibes coming.
Yeah, no doubt. May 29th, so just later in that month, we met up with the Galaxy again out there in Carson. Took the lead, actually. That was Owen Wolf's first professional assist. Diego Fagundes slotted that home after halftime. And then the Galaxy just go on a 4-goal run to close out that one. The day I wrote down, the Dejan Joveljic nightmare game.
I was going to say.
Right. I think it was 2 goals and an assist in like 30 minutes for Joveljic.
Like as soon as he touched the ball.
Yep. I think, he had like 9 touches and he contributed 3 goals in that game. Or contributed 3 goals.
Fuck that.
I mean, him being their backup striker is, they're not hurting that bad, at least on the field, personnel-wise. And they got our boy Ricky Pooch. We'll talk about them here in a second. But their form right now... What's that?
He's not our boy anymore, bro.
Well, he's on the team.
Yeah. He's our Kwame Brown.
I feel like he's more of an Anthony Bennett.
All right. That's even worse. Kwame Brown, at least.
Well, he's been bad. He's been bad for us.
Yeah, he's been bad.
The Galaxy have also been bad this season. 3 draws, 4 losses, yet to get their first win. I'm sure the more cynical Austin fans saying, well, they're about to get their first one. And that may be true. They are favored. We'll get to the week 9 betting picks at the end of the pod in the nonsense section. But for the Galaxy in those 7 matches so far this season, again, their first match was postponed against LAFC in week 1. In those other 7 they've played, 5 goals for, 12 goals against. But I think even with the loss this past Sunday, I think things are looking up for this team on the field. 2 goals against LAFC. They were competitive in that match. They got Chicharito back in the 11, I believe, for the first time this season. But they also, again, on the pitch, maybe looking up, certainly still struggling in the stands. We've talked plenty about the supporters group boycotts there. I haven't seen any news that says that's not going to continue this weekend. So I think the only bad thing for us about that is we are not going to be able to put the traveling contingent in the stands like LAFC was cross town last week. It was like 25% LAFC fans in that stadium, if not more. They were very loud. So maybe less of a home field advantage for the Galaxy in this one, regardless, with no, massive supporters groups there. What are you thinking about this Galaxy team? I know you've watched a little bit of them throughout this first month and a half, 2 months of the MLS season. Chicharito back, Joveljic, probably back in a bench role here, but we've seen them at times late last year. And I believe on Sunday, bring him in next to Chicharito. And to me, again, elementary soccer analyst at best here, but I think that's where they're at their best, is just trying to attack with the immense offensive talent that they have on this roster.
I mean, if we were playing well right now, I would be like warning signs all over. This is a huge trap game.
Yeah.
And we got to be careful. But I hope that we have finished our humble pie and understand what we are right now, particularly with Diego just going down.
Yeah.
And our already, lack of high quality talent. So with that being said, I hope that we're ready for this because both these teams are super hungry for a win right now. I went a little incognito, did a little subterfuge, jumped in the LA Galaxy sub
infiltration.
Yeah, just infiltrate. We got to give something more to the people in regard. We got to get a scouting report, how they're feeling. In order to gain some more perspective and everything. I jumped in there, and I was looking around, up doing, down doing, where I felt,
okay, contributing.
Yeah, for the pot a little more, just but they are definitely encouraged from their performance versus LAFC. And with that being said, again, it's like we have been encouraged with our performances in certain games, and they still didn't result in 3 points or a point. Right. So that can only go so far. I know that they're definitely getting a little healthier right now. I know that, with this Diego injury, we need someone to take their game to the next level. And hopefully it's Seba.
Sure.
In regards to where he's playing right now and what he's capable of.
Yeah.
And like I said on last pod, I do think he's just going to have to single-handedly kind of win us one of these next 2 games. If we're going to walk away with 6 points from these next 2, I think he's going to have to do it by himself at one of these times. But they're getting healthy right now. This is not a game you can take lightly because, like we said, they still have Jovic. Cheech is healthy. Our ex-boy, Ricky Pooch. Someone's due for a breakout here in our corner. So hopefully it's not his week, but definitely not a game that we should feel confident about as the fan base, and I don't think that we do. But we got to show up, and this is a game that we can win. We can win this game on the road for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think I would certainly accept a point here, just with the way we've been playing. Our track record going out there to Carson, like supporters groups are not. This is a tough place to play, and they do. I think probably right now, is it fair to say that just on paper, the Galaxy have more talent on paper up and down their depth chart than we do, especially with if Diego is out and we still are missing Julio,
with those 2 injuries,
Yeah. In that midfield, like they have not had a ton of success, obviously, turning the midfield talent that they have led by Ricky Pooch. And Delgado has been great. Brugman has been great. At least from an analytical standpoint, it's not translating into the results they want, but it just feels like you mentioned, like their fans are feeling a little bit better about that performance, even in the loss. It just feels like they're on the cusp of a breakout, and by a breakout, I mean getting their first win this season. But I think on the other side, if there's a north end for the Galaxy, right, that podcast is probably licking their chops too, saying like, here's where we get our first win.
Yeah.
And they're probably right in thinking that with our form coming in as well. I also say, like we mentioned multiple names here. Like I thought Tyler Boyd was good last week. He scored the first goal for them. So obviously that's an easy call out, recency bias there, but he's also a threat in the attack. I thought Lucas Caligari, that the new signing there on the right on their back four, who actually slid in and played some center back late in that game when they made the adjustment to the 3-5-2. I thought he's been talented. So I guess let's talk about our side here, right? Like how are we going to pull a result seemingly out of our ass here? And I guess let's wrap the Diego conversation into this, because they're hand in hand at this point. We are sitting here Wednesday night. We still don't have an update on Diego Fagundes and what the prognosis for that groin injury is. And again, I'm putting my tinfoil hat on here. Love to do it. We went back and looked at Julio and what the timeline was after he suffered that injury in the opener. That was obviously a Saturday night game. We got a update from the club by press release on Tuesday afternoon that week. Sitting here Wednesday night, silence. There is press availability for Coach Wolf after practice tomorrow, so maybe he's got something to say then. And maybe I'm just concocting nightmares in my own head. But
you
to
did
me,
take away a win from us in this matchup.
To me, the lack of an update makes me more worried that either they, because like if it was a very simple groin strain, it's grade 2 or whatever grade they would give it, and it's okay, here's the typical time frame. We'll, like similar to Julio, we'll reevaluate him after a certain period. That seems like a very easy thing to do by Wednesday. It just makes me think that maybe this is worse. We talked about on Sunday that we thought the window was anywhere from 6 weeks to out for the year.
Yeah.
And now me maybe just leaning into some pessimism here. Maybe I'm thinking it's more towards the latter.
It does not seem good that there has not been any sort of update on this situation. I don't know why you would like withhold good news for the situation.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so I'm with you there. I don't think that's too tinfoily, and just hoping for the best in that situation. Something going right for us here with these injuries would be great.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just comparing it to, it's obviously not 1-to-1 to Julio, but Julio walked off the field under his own power. Diego was helped off the field.
Yeah, he was in tears, right?
It seemed like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm just getting a real bad feeling about that. So we talked a little bit about how we could potentially plug that hole for now on the wing on Sunday. Let's talk about it some more. I've seen more, I do the rounds, listening to all of the Austin FC content as I possibly can. Love taking all of that stuff in. There was a little bit more, and again, maybe it's a commentary on where we are as a fan base that we're all saying like, oh, Rodney Redis looked okay. Like, why don't we try that again? But like, I still think I'm okay if we see him get that start because he is. Why were we excited for him initially? Speedy, built kind of like like a little block, like he can box guys out. So like if we're gonna see a little bit of that, like, okay, the Galaxy backline has not been the best. Ethan Finley hasn't been great either. We know he kind of brings similar offensive, I guess, positives in the attack. His straight line speed. He is usually pretty good at crossing the ball in accurately. He was not on Saturday. He spoke about that after the game, that he knows he needs to do better individually in addition to obviously almost everybody else on the team. What do you see us doing on the wing? We talked about Owen potentially getting pushed back out to the wing and bringing in some of our defensive midfield depth in either Valencia or Jeffel. I guess let's say who starts for Diego?
What a conversation this is right now.
Oh God, it's just me coping.
I do not want Rodney Redis to start.
Okay,
I don't.
Fair.
I think that the players trust Finley more.
Yeah.
I think putting another dude on the pitch who hasn't scored a fucking goal. That's the idea. So I want Rigoni on the left and I want Finley on the right. And I think that's what it should be. And I think if we got to push Owen out there, once Rado's ready to roll and we get Alex back into the midfield, maybe that makes us feel a little bit better. I do not want to see 60 minutes of Rodney Redis because if he's starting, coach is playing him 60 minutes, right? He doesn't start at halftime.
You would think.
When was the last time he did that?
Playoffs?
Besides never.
Playoffs but that's a different story. Okay. That's a different type of thing, right?
No, I'm saying when was the last time Rodney Redis played 60 minutes?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. We were in a dark place.
So I think it's got to be Finley. I fucking hope it's Finley. And then if it comes down to it and the decision is, okay, do we go with Valencia and Danny or Sophie and Danny and then push Owen out to the right, flip Rigoni to the left, or do we go Rodney Redis? I want to go with the not Rodney Redis option.
Yeah. And that's fair.
Have I
totally
talked you
fair.
away from that clip? Who have you been talking to?
I was talking to myself on Saturday night, trying to talk myself into Redis. Clearly, I haven't talked myself all the way off it.
No, I don't want it. It's got to be Finley. It's got to be. Fuck,
Okay.
man. Maybe putting Rigoni on the left helps him.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But you would think that Rigoni like prefers the right because that's where he is, and coach is certainly kowtowing to Rigoni and trying to make him work at all costs.
Another thing, we can't be trying to make Rodney Redis work at all costs too when we're trying to make that work at all costs and Giassi work at all costs. I have a pen in my hand now and I look way smarter.
I think it's a good look for you, bro.
I think it's a decent look.
Yeah. Maybe put it behind your ear at times too when you're not, making a point. I don't know. Yeah, it looks good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Figuring things out here. I am not throwing a fit if Rodney Redis gets the start. But if there was, if DraftKings is throwing us odds on who gets the start, Finley is by far the favorite, right? I think that is totally fair to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about up top? We've seen Maxey 2 games in a row, right? He got the start against LASC. He got the start at home. For me, it's Zardes time again. Familiarity with the stadium. That doesn't factor much into my calculus here on who I want to start, but it is a fact. Won a cup with the Galaxy. I believe that was his home club originally. And I just think neither of these guys are giving us anything. And we're a broken record at this point, as is almost every other Austin FC podcast trying to decide who they want to start. Bro, even our boy Bali was like, yeah, I think it's time for Zardes to start again this week. Like, we have all come full circle. No matter where we started, nobody is happy with any of the strikers right now. And so for me, it's Zardes. I do still think he provides a little bit more movement that will be beneficial to our other attackers. But, it's hard to say. It's hard to point to any one moment where it was like, yeah, that's where it happened. What do you think? Is it Maxey for the third straight time, or do we get Giassi back in there?
Let me get this pen out of there.
There you go.
It's look, not because he deserves it and not because I particularly want him up there.
Yeah.
But it's Maxey.
Okay.
Solely because Seba is more comfortable with him.
Okay.
And I want to get the best version of Seba that we can get on Saturday. And fuck, man, I hope, we know that those dudes are playing with chips on their shoulder.
Yeah.
We know Maxey thinks that he deserves a starting job and that he should be in there and he should be playing more. So
yeah, as he should. We want him to think that.
Shut us up then. Somebody, Giassi, shut somebody up. Maxey, shut somebody up. Somebody score a fucking goal.
Yeah. There's some people I want Giassi to shut up too, but that's a story for another time.
We just got to get again. And it was funny. You said the Bali thing and now I'm start Maxey, but I'm only start Maxey for Seba. Oh, that's it.
Okay. Only for Seba. Not because Maxey's earned it. You think that will help Seba get going?
Yes. I just think he's more comfortable with him.
Fair. Well, so, man, the way the team has been playing has now forced you and I apart on certain things where I think the first 4 or 5 games, we agreed on nearly every lineup decision. Fuck, they got me talking about starting Rodney Redis and trying to argue with you about why it's okay.
We're down bad, baby.
What about the rest of the lineup? Do you think there's any changes that we see from last Saturday? We had the Danny Owen pairing. We saw Johnny back in on the left, Nick Lima back in there on the right. I think we see the same back six or defensive half, however you want to define it. I think the only changes we see are up front, and obviously we have to make one with the Diego absence. So what about the rest of the 11 for you?
I think it's Lundqvist on the left and Johnny back on the right.
Okay.
And then obviously Leo. Is it Leo or Leo? We flip-flop here.
I think Leo it's Leo.
So much cooler.
Leo sounds cooler to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leo's already there is a Leo already.
Okay. There are Leos, yeah.
When
there is a Leo, yeah, sure.
So then Leo and obviously Cat there.
Okay, I would assume that the team site can give us the pronunciation here.
You would assume.
Yeah, Leo Väisänen.
Väisänen.
Yeah, Väisänen. So
Okay.
we'll keep working on that one as well.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess it's that time, right? We'll be waiting for that lineup to come out, but we don't have to wait to make our score predictions. We're down in the dumps. Is this the first time that you don't predict an Austin FC win?
No.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know. We've never been here. Not since we started the pod.
Let me ask you a personal question.
Okay, I love those.
When you were playing,
we're talking hoops here, everybody. Just for right.
We're
not talking 6th grade soccer. That's when I quit.
Correct. We're talking hoops. Did you prefer a rowdy atmosphere? Were you more comfortable in a rowdy atmosphere than you were a dead atmosphere? Because for me, I was always my worst when there was nobody in the gym. Because I needed the crowds in there. So I don't know if some of our guys are like that. You know what I mean? Because it just provides like a energy, a pace to the game and everything.
Right.
But for me personally, I fucking hated dead gyms. I always played down to it. I couldn't get up. Like, what about you?
I mean, for me personally, I don't think I can point to one or the other and say I did better in this circumstance. Like I had some big games in some very quiet AISD gyms. I had some big games in packed Delco Center, LBJ McCallum type rivalry games. And I had some really bad games too in like packed gyms, a playoff scenario, things like that, or at least like where like a shot here or a turnover there like stands out to me where maybe it was the pressure that did get to me a little bit. I think in terms of our guys, I don't think you can point at the history of this team, at least the guys we had last year or even the year before, and say that they struggle to get it going when there's not a ton of energy in the stands. Because look at our record against Houston. But like, I also think they show up, like they play. They play really well at home. Obviously, it's a lot easier when the noise is for you rather than against you. So I don't think I'm really factoring in there's still fans in the stands.
For sure.
There's just not a big band leading the chants. I honestly don't know if the Galaxy SGs have a band or what, but obviously they have loud chants. I mean, they are the MLS club, right? Sure. Globally, even though LAFC is very clearly at this point taking over that moniker, I don't think that is clear. That has not infiltrated the rest of the soccer world yet. Like I've heard a lot of talk, especially on Extra Time. I think on the Cooligans as well, they were talking about that, where like if you go overseas and you ask somebody, a European soccer fan or a South American soccer fan about MLS, they say, oh, Galaxy, that's the team, right? Like that's the Yankees. And I think through the first 15 years of their existence, 15, 20 years, that was true. Yeah. But we know with Klein out, that whole movement, that has not been the case for almost 10 years now. They have not been they have been consistently bad for almost a decade now. So I don't think that the crowd maybe not being up to par, I don't think to me that's going to affect it much. Okay. But an interesting question and could certainly play a role. I think that to me, that affects the home team more. Like that takes away from their home field advantage.
I agree.
I think you're thinking about that more, just like our guys did against the same Galaxy team when we were silent for 10 minutes last season. Where like the weird vibe caught up to Austin and not the visitors. So I think if anything, we could maybe benefit from a quieter, I think Digital something park. I forget the name. I've got it here in a second because they're going to be playing the Austin FC 2 match at the adjacent complex there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
right, back to your original question to me.
Yeah.
I'm going Austin 1-0.
1-0.
Bradley Scott Stuver.
Yeah, another clean sheet.
Plays on his fucking head.
Yeah, continues.
Correct. He's hot right now. We got a hot keeper. We got something going for us right now. We got a hot keeper.
True.
So
some would say in more ways than one.
All right.
Some would say. I mean, I'm just saying.
Who you been talking to?
Look, man, there's a whole channel in LB Slack dedicated to this. You know this. I just got to shout out people when it's appropriate.
There's a Bradley Scott Stuber is hot channel.
They got the Hot Boys, some modeling club, I think it's called.
Oh,
something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a card carrying member, but he's a good looking man. I'll give him that.
All right, that's fair. 1-0.
1-0. I like it. Well, I'll be the pessimist here. Then I guess that's my role today. Yeah, don't look at me like that. Come on. I got to keep it a little realistic here. 2-1 Galaxy. Yeah. I think they get it going. Chicharito is back. He's fresh. We know Jovic has given us problems in the past, especially when he's off the bench with fresh legs running at our back line right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really hard to pick. I mean, I'm giving us a goal. We haven't scored for like 3 fucking games. So yeah,
won a game.
I know, but it feels like we haven't either, and I'm leaning into that.
Yeah, I thought this was a toxic positivity episode.
That's just our brand. I'm testing the water. I'm dipping my toe in the negativity. I turned
to like mid-episode where I was like, "Yo, you really toxic positivity towards Reddit right now."
I tried, man. I tried.
You did.
I got 2-1 Galaxy. It doesn't feel good, but that's what I see going down here.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, just like our betting picks, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. News-wise, not a ton. Obviously, we thought we were going to have a Diego update. So I assume we'll talk about that Sunday after we're recapping this match. You would think we'll have some sort of timeline by then. And speaking of what's coming up soon, the transfer window, the primary window does close on Monday. Mm-hmm. I don't think we should be holding our breath for any green smoke here. I do think that's all going to be pushed off until the summer. But certainly some MLS news to be talking about here in the next couple episodes, because not all teams are going to sit on their hands.
For sure. And I think, we made moves to patch things up, and they haven't panned out. And that's part of the reason why I'm hoping Lundqvist can actually get this start and just give us some fresher legs. One of these fucking defenders got to pan out.
Yeah, at some point. Again, and we can rehash that. Coach Wolf in the post-game presser said that we should expect Rado and Julio back and available by early May. So I think both of us targeting that May 6th Portland Timbers away match for when we could see those guys. And speaking of like player movement and stuff, I did see Landon Cotham bring up Ring's contract and the fact that it expires this year. He's got 2 club options tacked onto that, but those options would be at that DP level of salary. And again, like this, to me, this just leans into what we said on the episode after the Western Conference Finals loss last year, and what we said on Sunday is that, yeah, we've been looking at Ring, and you and I, when I say we have been, and I assume the front office as well is looking ahead and planning for his eventual exit.
Yeah.
He's an aging player. Doesn't mean he's not still good and very, very capable, and playing out of position and doing a hell of a job at it. But I think there's no doubt that those options are going to be declined, and he may remain with the team, but it's going to be on a much less or a much lower wage. Cap City Soccer, what's that? This
is all just really forming a picture now that this was all part of this transitional phase to move on from him. Yeah. There was no conspiracy theory in regard to getting the son of the coach more playing time. It's just we're shifting into a life without him as a DP.
Yeah.
And the captain of the squad.
Yeah.
But go ahead. What Cap City Soccer say?
Well, so they used that opportunity. I think that there was some discussion going on about Ring and his contract length, et cetera, that they have a running list of the contracts and when they expire for our first team players, which is a really handy thing to have bookmarked for those of you who, are interested in that sort of thing. I would check it out.
There was honestly someone on Reddit today in the sub looking for that. Exactly.
There you go. So if person on the sub, if you are listening, Cap City Soccer is the place to look for that. So I thought it would be an interesting discussion here just for a couple minutes to talk over who the expiring contracts are this season. And again, many players, if not, I don't know if it's all, but the majority of these guys do have club options tacked on to the end of these contracts. But those who are up this season after Ring, or it's Ring, then Maxey, Ethan Finley, Amro Tariq, Sophie Jeffel, and Hector Jimenez. So to me, there's nobody really in there that I'm throwing a fit if we lose. I think out of all those guys, the one I want to see stick around the most is Jeffel, just because of the youth. All those other guys are relative journeymen and very much veterans at this point. I think all of them, except for Jeffel and Tariq, are over 30, and we know Jeffel could be whatever age, and we don't really care to see him again.
You mean Tariq?
Any thoughts on that list?
You mean Tariq there?
Yeah. So what did I say, Jeffel?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Sorry, Sophie.
Yeah.
No apology yet, Amro.
My thoughts on that list? Unless there's some pretty team-friendly deals there, I don't know if you see any of those guys back.
Yeah.
Jeffel would probably be the priority for me, and I would assume from the standpoint of the front office, unless, I mean, obviously, there's plenty of season left to play. A lot of things can change here,
of course.
But yes, that would be where I would stand as well.
Well, obviously, we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe revisit it once we get to the summer transfer window, and of course, off season will be all about stuff like that. Let's preview the second match against the Galaxy that we have this way, getting into our last business day segment here. Again, this is one of 4 occasions this season where the second team will travel with the first team to play their opponent on the same weekend in the same place against the same club, or at least affiliation there. So Austin FC2 taking on Galaxy 2, and a little bit of background on Galaxy 2. They were founded in 2014. Of course, at that point, MLS Next Pro did not exist. They were a USL Pro club initially. And looking here at what they've got going on in 2023, not a great start for Galaxy 2 either, although they, like Austin FC2, technically better results because they have a win. 1 win, 3 losses for Galaxy 2 so far on the season. If we look at their schedule, that 1 win did come in their last match against Whitecaps 2. That was a barn burner 4-3 victory for Galaxy 2. They had previously lost 3-0 to Quakes 2, 1-0 to North Texas. We talked about that last week, and a 2-1 loss to Minnesota United 2. So Galaxy sitting on 3 points with 4 matches played. Obviously, they have a game in hand on Austin FC2, who remains at the top of the Western Conference in Next Pro. Looking at some of the players that are present here for Galaxy 2, just 3 first-teamers on this current roster. Marcus Fergranus. This is a great name. Yeah, I'll copy paste that to you here in a second. Adam Saldana and John Perez. And then they have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 academy members currently on the roster. So to me, this reads a little bit like what we saw on the St. Louis City 2 roster this past Sunday, where it's a mixture of first team and academy, and then they'll sprinkle in some of those just total Next Pro players, Next Pro contracts in alongside them, but even more so leaning heavily into their academy players at this point. And I haven't seen, usually there are the gambling lines out there for Next Pro, but they usually come out day of. I imagine even on the road, we will see Austin FC2 be favorites here, just given the form, the lack of first team presence compared to what Austin is rolling out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one other notable player on this roster, Carson Klein. son of Chris Klein. Yes, that is the same Chris Klein who is the target, the subject of the Galaxy supporters group's boycott. Klein out. So
did he name him after the city that they play? The stadium is.
Oh fuck, maybe. I don't know. He was born in 2002.
Put the tinfoil on.
Yeah, that's you putting the tinfoil on. He's Carson Christopher Klein, so also technically Chris Klein if you use that middle name. He did play college soccer at Cal Poly. Looks like for one season, came up through the Galaxy Academy and been with Galaxy 2 now for just 2 seasons in 2020, and then now back with the club. Only appeared in 2, I think, of the 4 matches so far. But there's their big name there on Galaxy 2 is son of Klein. So, head coach Yoann Demey. This is a French name for sure. He is a French Association football coach. Says currently an assistant with the Columbus Crew. So maybe this Wikipedia is not up to date in terms of who the head coach is for Galaxy 2. I'm going to go ahead and declare that it is not up to date. So Demey, not the head coach, mystery head coach. I guess we'll find out on Sunday. That match Sunday. What time is it at? Apologies. This is just fantastic preparation by me. Galaxy 2, 7 p.m. Central. So it'll be 5 local out there in Carson. It is Dignity Health Sports Park is the venue, and I believe Austin FC 2 will be playing at Dignity Health Track and Field Stadium, which seats about 5,000, if my research did not fail me. So let's talk about real quick Austin FC. Who do we want to see? I guess I'll start this one off. I want to see CJ Fodre with the first team, even if he's on the bench. They're going to the same place, so let's put him on the bench. And fuck, man, let's throw him in. Like, I mean, what do we got to lose? What do we got to lose at this point? Maybe we got a wonder kid. I mean, this is a guy who has professional goals before arriving at Austin FC. I mean, Landon Donovan thinks the kid is special. Who am I to argue with Landon Donovan? And Austin FC's front office, who are you to argue with Landon Donovan? You know,
nobody.
Trusting those U.S. national team figures has done us great so far. Any notes from you on what you would like to see, maybe lineup wise, personnel wise, and then we'll give our score predictions.
I'm definitely CJ. Move him up.
Okay,
let's get the process started.
Yeah,
because this Diego injury is going to be not good.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get him up there.
We need goals.
Let's see what we got. We got to do what we can. Other than that, I think that 11 has been good.
Yeah,
the consistent 11 that they've had has been good. Can David play both sides?
I think we've mostly just seen him on the right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember back to first team preseason games. I want to say, again, that the games that he was playing with the first team were those Florida games where we were just getting talk about crumbs, just like highlights and trying to piece together lineups from still images and things like that.
Yeah.
I want to say he maybe played a little bit centrally in those games, but I think certainly for FC2, it's been, I believe, all on the right.
Okay. AOC for sure. I think Valti gets rotated. You see the Sal Kip pairing.
Yeah.
Asensio started last week, right?
Yeah. Started twice in a row now.
Okay. I think he probably gets rotated as well. Hafferty back. I'm 3-0 Austin FC 2. Again, we have another hot keeper, Damian playing great. And let's keep the clean sheets rolling. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think actually one thing I left off, I think Damian Loss is maybe a free agent coming up this year as well. So he would actually be, I think, number one for me, given what we've seen. I know it's the next pro level, and a lot of people who know more than us say it's a step below even USL, but he can only save the shots that are in front of him, and he's been doing that with great success. So I think I'm with you. You know, same back four there, Hafferty on the right with the armband, AOC up front. I'm excited to watch this one, and you know, we will probably need the children, based on my prediction, we will need the children to avenge us again on Sunday. So I'm going 2-0. I'm going to say Loss gets another clean sheet. Not quite the scoring output that you see, but both clean sheets. I think we have a ton, opposite the first team, we have a ton of confidence in the defense here with the second team right now. So hopefully those guys go out there and get a result. And hopefully we're flying back together Sunday. As first team probably is not waiting around, but they're flying back on Sunday, celebrating the first team win and a second team win. It'd be a hell of a weekend to get a sweep here.
Absolutely.
All right, again, around the league, not a ton to touch on here. Transfer window closing on Monday, so I'm sure there will be a flurry of news to discuss on Sunday night's episode. Also, I guess we said on Sunday we were going to be in the studio tonight. Push back next Wednesday, we'll be in the studio. Still very much looking forward to that. And potentially going to have a special guest on Sunday's episode as well. So we can look forward to that. Looks like we're going to maybe record that on Friday. So a little live scheduling there for the people.
Okay.
Let's get to the nonsense here. Best ball update. Not the worst thing in the world.
Maybe save that for second.
Save that for second? Nah, come on. We keep the nonsense in order here. Best ball update, week 8. We do, for the first time this season, have the highest scoring player on the week on our roster. It saved us from disaster. Very unfortunate, though, because our defense has been carrying us, right? Georgie's been our MVP so far. We've had big games from Miazga, from Shaq Moore, from Kai Wagner. Now Kai is injured again. Georgie and Roman Berkey, not great games last week, but Carlos Vela with the 17 saves the day, finishing second place on the week with 42 points. So we'll take that, making up a little bit of ground, just about an inch on the We Are Austin TV boys, who come in third with 40 points. Another just very solid week for them. No standout performances, but their depth definitely shining through with 40 points. Hollingshead led them with 10 points. He got that third goal for LAFC. 8 from Raul Rui Diaz, 7 from Swiderski, 8 from Zella Ryan. 40 points for We Are Austin TV. Texas Ring of Fire tailing off a little bit. They're opening the door for us to catch up to that third place in the overall standings. 35 from Texas Ring of Fire on the week. They struggled with no Brenner and no Lucho Acosta. Obviously they kind of go as Cincinnati goes this season. Certainly Brenner going to be one of the guys that when we do our summer transfer window pod with all these guys and make some swaps, Brenner obviously going to be on the way out for Texas Ring of Fire. And then these bastards over at Moon Tower, 55 points on the week, despite a DNP from Kyoto, DNP from Lewis Morgan, DNP from Brody. They get 15 from Abobasi with his brace. They get 11 from Gazdag. They get 11 from Stuver with his clean sheet, extending their overall lead, opening up a little bit of a gap there on the We Are Austin TV boys. Moon Tower in first, 386 total points through 8 weeks. We Are Austin TV still in second, 369. It's very nice. 319 for Texas Ring of Fire, 309 for the North End Pods. So third place is within our grasp. Hopefully we have another strong week here.
On your ass, RB.
Hey, and then once we catch RB, then we keep looking up. We're coming for everybody.
Whew.
Nowhere to go but up, E. Nowhere to go but up when you're in the cellar. So definitely looking forward to the week 9 results here. Not looking forward to this, but we keep it light here. And hopefully, again, we've kind of teased it. What's that?
Light in the wallet.
Yeah, light in the wallet. That's why we only bet like $10 each time, right? That's our unit. Okay, so we're down.
Don't reveal the units.
Why?
Because then it could be anything.
It could be anything. You could be okay. You're betting 100. I'm betting 10.
All right, come on. Tell
Look,
them how
look,
many units we lost.
Look, the most important thing here is that our week 7 profits were a mirage. Okay. And
Man, wiped out.
minus 4.9 units on the week E. That is a 1-6 record with our 7 picks. The one team that came through for us, San Jose at plus 110. So we appreciate the Earthquakes. Shout out to our boy Thomas, the only Quakes fan that we know. And how about the ones we got wrong? Austin FC to win, Cincinnati to win, Again, making these picks on Wednesday, maybe we should just talk about what we think we're going to do and then post the picks on game day, because then we would have known Brenner's not playing, Lucho's not playing.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see if we adjust it. We won't adjust it this week, but maybe going forward, we'll talk about it. Philly plus 145. Nashville plus 260. There you go. Seattle plus 135. LAFC up 3-1 late in the second half. We're going to hit the minus 1.5 plus 360. There you go.
Galaxy owe me.
They do owe you.
They owe me.
You. So again, minus 4.9 units on the week, now down 17.15 units on the season. So get ready to hear who you should bet against this week. Here come the week 9 picks. I'm going to get us started, E. And it pains me to do this. I don't like thinking highly, nor putting my money, my hard-earned cash, on a team like this. But I'm going with Houston at home, minus 110. They've got Inter Miami coming to town. Inter Miami, of course, been down in the dumps since Gregory went out. Haven't won since then. I don't even think they've gotten a result so far. So pulling up, Fatman doesn't want to give me. I apologize for my unpreparedness here.
Fatman.
Oh, Miami, 5 straight losses, 2-0-5. Houston gets Ache back this week. They've got a little turmoil going on too. Sebas Ferreira looks like he's maybe on the outs there, their DP striker who has not been playing. But Houston has been good. They are certainly improved over last year. And with Miami coming to town in Houston, the heat and humidity, I know it's not as hot as it's going to be mid-season, but I like Houston here to get it done, man. They've been good at home.
Fair. But fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say I'm not saying I don't also feel that way. It's just that I think it's a good bet this week.
Yeah. Well, my logic going into the bet this week was we've been losing a lot of units, so why not make double bets?
Okay. Get it all back.
To really just ratchet it all up.
Okay. So you're going to juice it up this week.
This is the full ratchet version. Here we go. It's been ratcheted up all the way. I'm going to go ahead and take NYC FC versus Dallas.
Okay.
Draw.
Okay.
Plus over 1.5 goals.
So you're looking at like a 1-1 here?
That's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
I'm thinking a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
We get that at plus 340 units.
Okay. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Yeah, but I will also say,
if you hated it, I'd probably feel better.
Yeah. Fair. I will also say though, we literally just started giving Houston props and Dallas props. Dallas getting a draw here on the road, so it's still fuck them, right?
Fuck them.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah.
All right. So NYCFC and Dallas draw over 1.5 total. Back to me. I'm going to go to another home team here at minus 110 and look at Orlando City. Our old boy Felipe. Shout out Felipe the legend. All right. Orlando hosting DC United. Orlando just the better team here. Results don't stand out for Orlando City so far this year. 11 points from their 7 games. DC sitting on 8 from their 8 games. But I think home in Orlando. That environment is above average in the league, to say the least, and minus 110. I think that does shift more in Orlando's favor as we matriculate towards match day 9. So give me Orlando to win minus 110.
Okay. I like that. They're definitely the better squad.
Yeah, for sure.
LAFC traveling to Nashville. This team is just too fucking good, too fucking deep. So I'm taking LAFC to win. Also over 2.5 goals for the game.
Okay.
As they both have some pretty powerful offenses.
Yeah.
Getting that at plus 320, let it fly.
All right, letting it fly. I will say Nashville has been struggling to score a little bit. I saw some people kind of comparing, like saying things that they're talking about Austin, where it's like, Austin is all Driussi, and if you shut him down, they can't do anything. And I saw some people saying that, like, Mukhtar can't do everything to this team. To your point, though, they've got 11 points through 8 games. And LAFC could go over on that total.
Yeah.
Despite Nashville's, I don't care whose defense LAFC is facing. I mean, that offense is humming right now. 3 goals is the standard for them over the last month, it feels like.
Yeah.
So I like the pick. If we're taking home run swings,
we're swinging.
I do like that one. Okay.
All right. I feel bad about
it. All right. Well, can I just give you like a
There you
go. All right. All right, my third pick this week. They burned me last week, giving up the 4 goals to Portland in that rivalry match. But give me Seattle to win at home. They've got Minnesota United coming to town. And I will also hit that over 1.5 total in that bet. So Seattle to win and over 1.5 total on the game. That's minus 115. So let's get it done, Seattle.
Okay. I got the New England Revolution at home.
Okay.
Playing the lowly Sporting KC.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I got as many red cards as goals.
That's the Pat Bev theory.
Yeah.
I got the Revolution winning under 2.5 goals in that game. 2 teams that don't really score a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was ever a game for Sporting KC to score 4 goals, it's probably this one. But we're going under 2.5, getting it at plus 330. I like that. Sporting, keep it up.
Well, look, I'm not going to say I like it because I know you don't want me to, but SKC is under 2.5 goals on the season, so
yeah.
Certainly in your favor there. All right, let me close it out here. Let's get a 7th. Let's get a little bit of a homer touch here, right? I said 2-1. I said 2-1, Galaxy. We need to get on the board. Somebody's got to score for us. Who better to score than the MVP runner-up from last year, Sebastian Driussi, to score an anytime goal, plus 260. Okay? It's our PK taker. He's our wonder boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets on the board this week, even in the loss, plus 260. I was looking at full transparency. I was looking for the real narrative, the Zardes goal here back home. He's plus 260. I saw Driussi sitting there right next to him. Like, why am I going to take Zardes at the same odds? Give me Seba. So Seba to score, plus 260. Let's get it done, boys. Let's get it done.
Yeah, looking forward to that first Zardes goal for sure.
Man, if he scores this week and I came off that just because of the Driussi right there, god dang. We'll take the goal, but
we'll take it.
All right, so week 9 picks, NYCFC to draw with FC Dallas and over 1.5 in that game. That's plus 340. We've got LAFC to win and over 2.5 goals in that one against Nashville. That's plus 320. New England to win against SKC under 2.5 in that one, plus 330. Then we've got Houston and Orlando to win, both at minus 110. Seattle to win against Minnesota and over 1.5 goals in that one. That's minus 115. And Driussi to score, plus 260. Those are the week 9 betting picks. And that will wrap up episode 48 of the North End podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, rocking with us here on this midweek episode. if you've got 5 seconds to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, we would greatly appreciate it. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. You can hit the notification bell to know when a live stream pops up or a new episode goes live. And of course, on this episode, hit that thumbs up, like the video, help us battle the YouTube algorithm overlords. Atone for your sins. Wash yourselves clean in the waters of the North End. We will be back on Sunday night recapping Austin FC at the LA Galaxy. Austin FC 2 at LA Galaxy 2. It's an LA weekend. We're hoping it goes good for us. We will see you all then. Enjoy the rest of your week and have a good weekend. We'll talk to you on Sunday. He's E. I'm Zach. Vamos Austin FC, everybody. Goodbye.